You've probably had this moment before. You open TikTok for what you promise will be just a minute. A video appears, and somehow it's exactly what you needed to see. A joke about something that happened to you today, a niche hobby you didn't even know existed yesterday, a song that feels strangely familiar. You scroll again, and the next video is even better. Another scroll, even more accurate. Until eventually, you stop asking a simple question. How does TikTok know this much about me? Because TikTok doesn't start by knowing you. It starts by studying you. Every pause, every swipe, every replay. Millions of tiny signals quietly feeding a machine designed to understand what keeps your attention. But the deeper you look into how this system works, the stranger the story becomes. Because TikTok may not just be learning from the videos you watch, it might also be learning from the rest of your life. And by the end of this story, you may realize something uncomfortable. TikTok doesn't need to read your mind. Your behavior already tells it everything. Not long ago, social media worked very differently. Platforms like Facebook and Instagram were built around a simple idea. Your friends. You saw posts from people you followed, photos from classmates, updates from relatives. The content came from your social circle. Then TikTok arrived and quietly rewrote the rules. TikTok didn't care who your friends were. Instead, it focused on something far more powerful: your behavior. The platform began its life in 2016 as the international version of a Chinese app called Douyin. A year later, the company behind it acquired a popular lip-syncing platform called Musical.ly. The two systems merged, and the result became TikTok. At first glance, it looked like another social media platform. Short videos, music, trends, dances. But under the surface, something very different was happening. TikTok's main feature wasn't the videos, it was the For You page. Unlike other platforms, the feed didn't rely on who you followed, it relied on what you watched. And the more you used it, the better it got. People began noticing something strange. TikTok seemed to understand their interests shockingly fast. Within minutes of using the app, the feed started adapting. Suddenly you were seeing videos about things you didn't even realize you liked. A rare hobby, a niche community, a strange new obsession. And somehow, TikTok had already found it. The experience felt almost psychic. But there was no magic involved. Just data. A lot of it. Because every moment you spend on TikTok is quietly teaching the system something new, and the algorithm is always listening. Most people believe TikTok's algorithm is guessing what they like. But that's just not quite true. In reality, the algorithm is being trained, and the teacher is you. Every time you open the app, TikTok begins collecting signals. Did you watch the entire video? Did you pause halfway? Did you replay it? Did you scroll immediately? Each action becomes a tiny piece of information. Even the smallest details matter. How fast you swipe, how long your finger hesitates before scrolling, whether you rewatch a clip or ignore it completely. These signals are then fed into a recommendation system designed to do one thing exceptionally well: predict what will keep you watching. But TikTok doesn't only analyze your behavior, it studies the videos themselves. The captions, the hashtags, the music, even the visual objects inside the video. Using machine learning models, the system extracts features from each piece of content. Then it begins matching those features with the behaviors of millions of users. The result is something like a behavioral fingerprint, a constantly evolving profile that represents your preferences. The system doesn't need you to tell it what you like, it simply watches what you do. And over the time, the predictions become eerily accurate. But TikTok also understands something else about human behavior. Leaving is hard. If you've ever tried exiting the app, you might have noticed something curious. You press the back button once, and instead of closing, the feed refreshes. A brand new video appears, just one more. A tiny moment of hesitation, a split-second decision, and suddenly you're still scrolling. This isn't an accident. Designers call this exit friction, a subtle technique used across many digital platforms to reduce the number of people leaving. Just when you're about to quit, the system offers one more reward. Not because it's desperate, but because it understands something about humans. We're very bad at saying no to one more thing, and TikTok's algorithm has become very good at offering exactly that. TikTok's system didn't just make the app popular, it gave the company a powerful advantage over every other social platform. Traditional networks like Facebook were built on something called a social graph. Content spread through your connections, friends shared posts, followers liked them. The algorithm mostly amplified those relationships. TikTok did something completely different. It built a content graph. Instead of prioritizing who posted a video, the system focused on how people reacted to it. If a video captured attention, even from a tiny group of viewers, TikTok expanded its reach. Small test audience, strong engagement, then a larger audience, and larger still. This allowed unknown creators to go viral overnight, but it also allowed the algorithm to learn faster than any system before it. TikTok constantly measures extremely subtle behaviors. How long you watch, whether you rewatch, how quickly you swipe away. These microsignals create a feedback loop, and that loop becomes incredibly powerful. Over time, the system learns patterns not just about what people like, but how they behave. Marketing researchers James A. Roberts and Meredith E. David have studied the effects of social media engagement systems. Their research suggests platforms designed around constant feedback loops can increase compulsive usage patterns. People begin losing track of time, minutes turn into hours, and scrolling becomes automatic, which explains why 5 minutes on TikTok rarely lasts 5 minutes. But perhaps the most unsettling part of the system isn't how well it learns, it's where it learns from. Because TikTok's understanding of you may not stop at the videos you watch. In some cases, it may extend far beyond the app itself. In 2026, investigators began raising new questions about TikTok's data collection practices. Reports suggested that tracking technologies linked to TikTok were appearing across the internet, small pieces of code embedded in websites, often invisible to users. These trackers could send information back to the platform: browsing behavior, purchases, interactions on websites, in some cases even information about users who never installed TikTok. The idea sounded alarming, but it also revealed something important about how modern recommendation systems operate. Algorithms don't need to understand your thoughts, they only need to observe your behavior, and behavior leaves a trail. Every search, every click, every pause. Over time, those tiny signals form patterns that machines can analyze far more consistently than humans ever could. But there's an important detail often overlooked in this conversation. TikTok doesn't create your interests, it simply detects them quickly. The algorithm isn't forcing you to watch anything, it's reacting to the choices you already make, which leads to a realization many people find uncomfortable. The system knows you so well because you've been training it. Every swipe is feedback, every replay is a lesson, every like is a signal. The algorithm learns exactly what you teach it, which also means something else. You can change what it learns. If you pause longer on educational content, the feed adapts. If you ignore certain videos, they slowly disappear. If you step away entirely, the algorithm stops learning. In other words, the system may influence your attention, but it doesn't control your decisions. TikTok's algorithm is powerful, but it's still just a mirror, reflecting patterns of behavior back to you. And once you understand that, the mystery begins to fade, because TikTok doesn't actually know you better than you know yourself. It simply watches more closely than you do, and sometimes that's enough. Subscribe and we'll uncover more truths behind the apps and platforms shaping your mind before you even realize it. See you in the next one.